Hello, it's Jack from My Social Practice, and welcome to Dental Digital Marketing Discussions. I have with me today someone that I've been looking forward to visiting with for a long time. I've known of Laura Hatch's work and she's very well known in the dental industry, and I often run into dental professionals that know who she is, and I've really been looking forward to having this interview. And actually, I'm going to get to meet Laura face-to-face in about a month, because Laura is one of our presenters at the Dental Digital Marketing Conference in Las Vegas. So welcome, Laura.
Thank you. I'm excited to meet you too. I'm excited to meet you in person, but we'll take the virtual introduction if we need that now.
All right, great. So I'm going to take just a second and just highlight a couple little things from your bio, but I'd like you to expand just a tiny bit. First of all, you have been so involved in dentistry for so many years and have really had a lot of acclaim. But I just want to touch on a couple of things. First of all, you were recently recognized as one of DPR's top 25 women in dentistry last year in 2016, right?
Yeah, that was a surprise. I was a pleasant surprise, but a big surprise, yeah.
That's really an honor. I mean, I love following that list and know many people that get named there, and it's only the top of the top, so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also, for many years, Laura has managed 2 fee-for-service practices. Now, is your husband a dentist?
Mm-hmm. That's how I got into dentistry. Yep. He asked me when I was, we were out at undergrad. He wants to be a dentist, and when I run his office, and that's kind of how I found dentistry.
Well, that's great. And then tell us a little bit about Front Office Rocks and when you started that business.
So I ran 2 offices for my husband, and when I started, it was early 2000s, and there wasn't any training, there wasn't any resources for us. I mean, we didn't, we have the internet like we have now, and I'd go see like Linda Miles speak and all the speakers, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be like her.
Yeah.
But after being in the industry now for 10 plus years, I realized that there was a missing resource for the front office team, to help us get better in our jobs, training and stuff. So I started Front Office Rocks. Actually, on my Facebook page, I saw it was 4 years ago. I made the announcement yesterday that I was starting a new business, and it's been, there was a lot of build up to get it built, but it really kind of launched. It went national about 2 years ago, and it's all online training. It's all training for the front office on the internet 24/7.
That's great. I know a lot of practices that are familiar with your training, and so at the end of our little visit today, I want to be sure to give them the URL and contact information so they can learn more about some of that training. I've heard it's really excellent. So.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and I've worked with my social practice for years too in my office. So this is really kind of cool to be able to, because I talk about, you have to do the social media stuff, but you have to be good enough in your office for people to talk about you. So it's a really good combination. So I'm glad people are talking about both. Yes,
me too. Good. I want to share my screen real quick and show one image that I want you to take a minute. And we dug up some images here that, I'll let you tell us about this. What is this all about?
Well, so my husband and I first had a practice in Maryland, and we moved to San Diego, California in 2007 and opened our dental office here in San Diego. So aside from dental, part of the reason we moved here was to have a better lifestyle for our kids, and you're outdoors and you're more active. And so I moved to California kind of thinking I would become a marathon runner or a triathlete or I was told if you just had the right pair of shoes, you could start running and you'd like it. I don't like running. I don't like swimming. I don't like surfing. I feel like I'm going to drown when I'm underwater. But just recently, my daughter and I, which is the picture on the left, decided to sign up for a Spartan race. And so we finished one. This one was in northern LA. And that's me kind of coming out of the mud pit. I wasn't super thrilled with that obstacle, but that's me on the right, climbing the rope. And I never could do that before. So they say when you do one that you get addicted. And I did one, and I mostly did it just to prove to myself we could. And so that my daughter wouldn't show me up. She's 7. But now I'm signed up for another one. So now we're doing one in August. So I think I might be addicted. I don't know. But this is kind of the California lifestyle that I've taken on. So.
Well, good for you. It's neat that you tried a few things and realized early on that those weren't the right things, and then tried something and you are enjoying it. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. It's good. As long as, that's part of the lifestyle we wanted, and we want to raise our kids to be, active and find the right thing, because, as you and I probably know, or too, that as you get older, it gets harder. So
yes, it does.
You need to be motivated. So, and I'm a little competitive, so that was a good race to be involved in.
Good for you. All right. Well, I'm going to stop sharing my screen there, and we are going to jump into some thoughts here. Hold on. Oops. Hold on. All
I
right.
love technology, right?
I know. Whenever you do something live, it's always scary, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I asked you to send along 3 ideas, and what's neat is you kind of outlined the ideas in a very short little video clip. So I want to show that video clip first, and then we'll talk about each of those ideas and spend 3 or 4 minutes on each of those ideas and have you kind of expound on those. So let me grab that video real quick, and we'll start by watching this. Can you see that okay on your screen?
Yep, I see it here.
Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. Let's see if I can maybe put this over here for a minute. Oh, maybe that won't move. All right. Well, you talk about them. I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on here. I want this advanced. There we go.
I'm an office manager in San Diego, California, and I am the owner of Front Office Rocks, an online front office solution and training website. As an office manager, I believe this day and age it is vital to have a strong online presence, and social media is a great way to get there. As the owner of Front Office Rocks, I wanted to add a couple more suggestions to help you in this area. You need to be good enough to earn it, you need to ask for what you want, and you need to have fun. So when I say be good enough to earn it, no matter how much you post on social media, that's not going to help you grow your practice if you don't also have a lot of great online reviews and you're not stellar. Your team needs to be offering the best customer service from the moment they answer the phone until that patient leaves after their treatment and every step along the way. Your patients are not going to go out and spread the word about your office if you're not amazing. So make sure that you're doing everything you can to have every patient leave with that experience and that wow, and love your team in your office. Secondly, you have to ask for what you want. Even patients that have a great experience won't think about you when they leave the office. You have to ask them to connect with you online, to share their experiences with others, to train your team to ask them to talk about social media, connect with them, comment, respond to your posts, ask them to write reviews about your practice. Get your team trained up to ask, because if you don't ask, the patients won't do it. And lastly, have fun. When building your online presence, people just don't want to learn about gum disease and cavities. They want to see fun stuff too. Foster an environment and a culture in your office that is fun and inviting, and mix that into social media. Play games with your staff, play games with your patients. People like to have fun, and don't make it so much like work.
Very well said.
The interview's over. That's all we had to do.
That was very well said, and I'm looking forward. So let's take each one of these and just take a couple of minutes and visit about each one of them. So the first one, to improve your social media presence, you have to be good enough to earn it. And I like the term "earn it." It seems like it's such an important term when it comes to what we call new marketing.
Yeah. I mean, people don't. What we do for an industry is we put drills and needles in people's mouths, and they pay us thousands of dollars, and nobody really likes it, and it's not fun, and right? So people aren't going to go out of their way to connect with us on social media. They're not going to go out and write reviews about us. They're not going to. We have to earn it. And people talk about experience more than they talk about what they get. They talk about the feeling they had in the office and how great the staff was and how fun it was. I mean, in my office, we're a music related office. So everything in my office is, music and instruments. And we have a big Elvis in our reception area, playing guitar. And my husband's a CEREC dentist, right? That's a very expensive high tech machine. And he gets frustrated because people call our office and say, "Are you the Elvis dentist? Or are you the music dentist?" But that's the kind of thing that we have to earn that. They have to feel from the moment they call in to every interaction they have with us. When they love that experience, then when they get that, like us on Facebook or write a review about us or look at the picture of us at Christmas or whatever, they're going to have that good feeling. Not like, "Oh, it's the dentist," That's not what we want them to have.
Yeah. It's interesting to me when I speak to practices, and I think some of the little bit older school thinking was that our main competition in a dental practice is another dentist down the street or around the corner. And it feels today like those brands and those companies that are creating experiences I think that's the competition. The bar has been set very high.
Yeah.
I've read studies before that have attributed maybe 15 or 20% of the success of a practice to the doctor's clinical skills.
Yeah.
Not that they're not important.
Yeah.
And I know I don't mean to in any way to insult or disparage the clinical portion of the skills, but boy, the experience is just huge.
Yeah, 100%. I actually was just doing a webinar this morning for my clients, and we were talking about customer service and how much that plays into our industry. Because we're medical, but people expect more when they come to our office. I think they did before. And something like 89% of people will leave and go somewhere else to get something, not over product or price, but over their customer service, over something that went well or something that went bad. And so we have to remember that. That's why I'm all about training the front office staff, because we're the first people they talk to. We're the first, that first impression. And it's vital, because that's where we're going to, help the patient get the treatment they need, have them talk about us, connect with them on the internet, stay in touch with them, have them refer. That's a huge part of what we do.
Yeah. And it's funny how forgiving people become when the experience is a good one. So it kind of hedges your bets a little bit. I mean, let's say you have a day where things don't go as smoothly in the practice. When you have that relationship and they've experienced that, they seem to be much more forgiving. They're not so anxious to go out and complain. Yeah.
I was just recently staying at a hotel that when I checked in, it wasn't the nicest hotel. It was kind of old. I was at Hinman in Atlanta, and it wasn't, it was all the good ones were sold out. And the hotel itself just wasn't, and I was left to go to Hinman, and I got a text, and they said, "How was your experience checking in? Do you need anything?" And I thought, okay, well, sure, I need a bottle of water in my room. And I got back that night, I had a bottle of water. And so the next day I asked for extra coffee and a bottle of water. I gave them a great review at the end of my experience, or end of my time there. The hotel was still an older hotel. It wasn't a great hotel, but my experience was that made up for what they were lacking at the hotel. That's the same in the dental office.
Great point. And well said. Thank you. I think that was that was one of one. We'll go to number 2.
Okay, good.
You need to ask for what you need. People are not just going to go and talk about you. If you want something, you got to ask for it.
Yeah. I mean, people for our healthy patients, we see them 2 times a year, once every 6 months, right? And in between that 6-month period, they're not thinking about us. We're not like the new restaurant or the new wine bar that opened or the new movie theater. We're the dental office. So if we want to connect with our patients, if we want to, connect with them on Facebook or Instagram or have them do reviews or whatever, we have to ask for it, because people they don't think, oh, I need to go tell everybody about my great dentist. We have to ask for it. But a lot of times we're not good at that. Maybe some of the staff is, but some of the staff's not. And the best time to ask patients to connect with us or write a review about us or whatever is when they give us a compliment. And that can come at any point during their time in the office. And so whoever's with them has to be comfortable enough to ask them to say, we would love for you to, like us on Facebook and share your experience here. We have to be good at that, because people aren't going to do it on their own.
Yeah. Have you found, let's pretend a minute that I'm a doctor who says to you, Laura, I totally believe that. I'm not sure how to train my team to be more comfortable to ask. Are there some good role-playing exercises or some specific things that you recommend to help them become better at that?
Well, I have, that's part of the reason I do the video training. So if you watch other people and you look, like when you see speakers, right? You go see a great speaker, you watch a video, you're like, okay, that sounds really good. I'm going to say that. But when it actually comes to you having to say it doesn't come out the same.
Yeah.
So what we do in my office and what I recommend is to have a training once a year where we practice asking this, and you just practice other employees, staff, where we can laugh and we can get through it. And you get to a point that you're comfortable asking for it. And everybody, I'm not about scripts. I don't think scripts work, but you have to be comfortable to say in your own way, awesome. We would love it if you'd like us on Facebook. That's great. Share that. You have to be comfortable with doing it. So it's mostly just practicing it. And we don't take enough time during the year to train on that kind of stuff. We train on the clinical. We train on but let's train on the communication with the patients. That's going to make a big, big difference.
Yeah. And it seems like if people practice that a few times and then actually do it with a patient and it goes well, then it kind of reinforces, I guess that wasn't that hard. I can do that.
Exactly, especially when they get a great response. I mean, one of the things I talk about is give the patient a compliment back. So we would love more new patients like you, or we would love to stay connected with you. We miss you those 6 months in between. And when a patient hears that, they're like, wow, really? You want more new patients like me, or you miss me?
Yeah.
It makes them feel good. And that's going to give them, more incentive to do it, whatever you're asking.
Great point. Thank you. Number 3 of 3. You gotta have fun.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're thinking.
Well, so when we come back from seminars, like we're going to go to the, Dental Digital Marketing Conference, and everyone's going to come back with all these ideas, and that's great, right? But then when you come back in the office, and you're like, great, now you guys have to add these 6 things to a 1 hour appointment that you have with the patients. We have a lot to do, right? We have to deal with insurance, and we have to deal with, selling them Sonicares and talking about gum disease and selling them the crown. And so if we go at it like it's just one more thing, oh, and by the way, like us on Facebook, we're having a contest.
All right.
Right? It's just not going to come off like fun. So you have to find ways to make it fun. I say play games in the office. In fact, side note, we have bottles that I got, the water bottles from my social practice years ago that have our logo on them, and we've had them in a box. And just last month, I'm like, let's do another Like Us on Facebook campaign. And we threw a few Starbucks gift cards and random ones. And if you liked us on Facebook, you could pick a bottle. Like, that gets the staff talking about it, and it makes it fun versus, by the way, you need to add it to the check sheet of the things you have to talk about, because it's not going to happen. And the staff's not going to seem excited about it if they don't have some fun behind it.
Yeah. I've seen a few practices where as they kind of raise this level of funness and sort of excitement about doing things like that, I've noticed a few practices that will, rather than saying, okay, team, we got to be this way all week long, sometimes they'll designate 2 or 3 people each day to kind of make it more top of mind. And then the days that it doesn't have to be as top of mind, you can kind of back off a little bit. And so I don't know that everybody has to be enthused every minute. That's sometimes not really practical. But if you can kind of rotate that enthusiasm a little bit, sometimes I've noticed that helps.
Yeah, and one of the things that we've done too is we have a few people in our staff that are a little more competitive than other people. They like that game. And then we also got to the point where sometimes where the patient said, yeah, like 5 people asked me the same question and I don't want to hear it. So we've done things where we split it by teams, and we'll have the doctor team and the hygiene team. And this team as a group, you get 5 likes if patients come in, and this group, and we compete as teams. So that way you've got a mix of a little bit more of the introverts and the extroverts, but you feel like we're working together versus, we always have one person who's the most extroverted person and she always wins the game. That's not fun for everybody either.
Yeah. That's do you mind if I steal that idea?
Oh, go for it. Yeah, totally go for it. And we're doing one right now. This month is Oral Cancer Awareness Month.
Right. And
we're working with the Oral Cancer OCC, and we're doing Blow Bubble for somebody who can't. And my staff just got done with Like Us on Facebook. So everyone's a little bit like, okay, Laura, don't bring something new in. So we just have our hygienists doing it. So our hygienists are talking to patients about blowing a bubble, putting it on Facebook, donating to the cause. And then they're having their own little contest right now. And it makes sense because it has to do with oral cancer screening, oral cancer health, and it's our hygienists. So you don't have to include everybody all the time.
Yeah.
You want to mix it up. That's the thing, because if it becomes the same thing month after month, week after week, it just becomes part of the job, and then it's not fun anymore.
Well, I think that's a huge takeaway today. If those of you who are watching this interview, if you only take one idea away from what Laura's talked about today, this idea of kind of splitting into teams and kind of pairing up maybe some people that are less enthusiastic with some of the more aggressive team members, that kind of mixing it up, that's an awesome idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the thing is, it also breeds that idea of teamwork, and everybody can be winners. That's the thing is, so we have one where if somebody gives us a review, everybody wins a scratch off lotto ticket on that team so that everybody can be a winner. Cause that's all we're trying to do is we're just trying to get people to talk about us, and we need our team to help do that.
Great.
Yeah.
Great ideas. All 3 of them.
Thank you.
That's great.
I could talk about this stuff all day long.
I know. I know. So can I get started. It's hard to stop.
Yeah, exactly.
But we do have to stop. And what we're going to do to stop is we're going to play a little game. Speaking of having fun and playing a game.
Now, you say anybody can win this game, but I don't know. I'm not really good with trivia and stuff. So.
All right. Well, we're going to let me explain to those who don't know what we're doing. So we have this little tradition where before we sign off, we ask a few questions. And as soon as, Laura, as you get 2 out of 3 of these questions correct, you are a winner of this little trivia quiz. The only drawback, the only caveat is you don't win anything. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But you are going to be playing on behalf of a dental practice today out in Miami. Dr. Amaya and her team out in Miami are an awesome little practice out in Miami that you're going to be playing on their behalf. And if you win, they win lunch courtesy of Front Office Rocks and My Social Practice.
Well, that's awesome. I hope I do well. I hope Dr. Amaya has some faith in me.
Okay. All right. Ready? Question number 1.
All right.
Here we go. Hold on. My advancer's not working. There it goes. Who did People magazine just name as the world's most beautiful woman? This happened this last week.
I just happened to hear on the radio this morning, Julia Roberts.
You are correct.
Yay.
Julia Roberts, 1 for 1.
Look at that smile too, right?
Yeah, it's, you know, I read today that she has been named most beautiful woman this is her 5th time.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
All right, you're 1 for 1. Number 2, stewardesses is the longest word completely typed with only our left hand.
True.
You are correct.
I luckily have the keyboard right in front of me, so I don't know if I was allowed to cheat, but
2 for 2. Wow, you already won. I'll still have to give you number 3. You might be 3 for 3.
All right.
All right, here we go. Question number 3. Yesterday, this is very current. Yesterday, Facebook announced its new virtual reality platform. Mark Zuckerberg, in his address at the F8 conference, announced this new platform. Is it called What the, or Facebook Spaces, or Bada Bing Bada Boom?
I'm going to go with Facebook Spaces.
You are correct.
That was awesome.
It is amazing. I don't know where Facebook is going to be taking this whole virtual reality thing, but essentially you create yourself in a virtual world, and they're connecting Spaces with Facebook Messenger. And so you're actually going to be interacting with your friends in a virtual world in addition to on regular Facebook. It's pretty incredible, actually.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I could see us doing it in a dental office, and we can meet up that way.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to learning more about it. So, wow, 3 for 3. You are amazing.
Those were easy enough.
And Dr. Amaya and her team, well, I'm sure will be very appreciative when we treat them to lunch next week. So
I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, good job. Okay, hold on. Let me come back to our screen, and then, wait, before I do that, one more thing. I want to make sure that everybody has your contact information. Laura Hatch, Front Office Rocks is the name of her company. There's her toll-free number if you'd like to call her. You live in San Diego, right? San Diego,
I do.
right?
Yep.
And you can learn more about her training and all the things that she does at frontofficerocks.com. Email Laura at frontofficerocks.com. So, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Very much.
That was fun.
That was fun. And we will see you. Let's see. Let me get back to my main screen if I figure out how to do this. Oh, well, I can't. I can see you, though. Hold on. Maybe I'll go stop share, see if that does it. There we go. Yay. All right, so I'm going to see you in just a few weeks out in Las Vegas.
Yep, I get to be speaking at my first ever dental digital marketing conference. So I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, and the event is sold out. So for those of our viewers who may have waited till the last minute to register, I really apologize that we're not going to be able to get you, not going to be able to attend this year. But I'd recommend get on early next year. It's just dentalmarketingconference.com. You can learn more about the conference. And we'll see you in just a few weeks.
Perfect. That's wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate having me on your show.
Yeah, well, thank you, Laura. And till next time, this is Jack at My Social Practice, Dental Digital Marketing Discussions. Au revoir. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.